Do you ever feel like manifestation is just another thing on your to-do list that you don't have time for? Like your spiritual practice is something that you have to do? Honestly, you're not alone because I felt that way too. Something that's really changed my relationship with manifestation is blending it into my lifestyle so that no matter what I'm doing, I'm also manifesting. I call this manifestation as a lifestyle, and it's single handedly made the entire manifestation journey more enjoyable for me. And I've seen my desires show up with a lot more ease. Manifesting as a lifestyle has made manifestation go from feeling like a task to something I just naturally do because it's who I am. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a step by step guide for you. I'll link it in my show notes so you can check it out. You're listening to the Affirmation Addict podcast with Pyle Corley. This podcast will teach you about the power of affirmations while making manifestation easy and accessible for you in order to enhance your spiritual consciousness. Thank you so much for being here, and now it's time to get started. Hi, love. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my app, Affirm It. It's an app I've created to help you practice affirmations, manifestation, and spirituality. It has thousands of daily affirmations that you can affirm and swipe through, including exclusively curated collections for just what you're going through, from anxiety to confidence, to career growth to love, and so much more. You're going to have unlimited access to our library of meditations, visualizations, and our signature guided affirmations when you join. Affirm It is a place you can come to work on your self-improvement through our guides, practices, and journaling. One of my favorite features the app has is our affirmation notifications, which can help you easily affirm anytime, anywhere. I like to call them the good kind of notifications. Start your free 7-day trial by heading to the show notes and clicking the link, or go to your phone's app store and search for Affirm It. After our free trial, the subscription is just $4.49 a month, or $44 for the entire year. We can't wait to see you in the app. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Affirmation Addict podcast. My name is Pyle, and today we're talking about attracting meaningful friendships in our adult lives. Something that I have really always struggled with is finding good friends. Not because I'm not surrounded by good people, but I think there's a lot of people in our lives who we become friends with out of convenience because they're around there. They're in a similar school as us, or we met them at work. And that's not a bad thing. That there's beauty, and those are some of my favorite relationships. But when it comes to, okay, we're in our career, we're done with school, we're not in a place where we're always meeting new people, then what, right? And that's kind of where I'm at, right? I am done with school, I'm done with college, done with work, like I work from home. So where do I find new friends, if ever? And it was something that's on my mind, and I kind of wanted to share what I've been doing to help me attract and nurture meaningful friendships, new and existing, actually. And so I want to share some things that have helped me. And then, as usual, a spiritual practice at the end, brought to you by Affirm It, our app. So that way you're able to actually practice this. And if this is something important to you, you can call this in. So let's talk friendships. I think I'm always surrounded by a lot of people. And I'm the type of person who a lot of my friendships feel, I don't know how to say this because I know people in my life are also listening to this, but oh well. A lot of my friendships can sometimes feel like I'm not necessarily getting any value, and not that they have to add value, but like I just don't feel good all the time. Like I either feel like it's stressful, or there's so much friend drama, or there's expectations that I feel like I have to meet, or that person gets upset, and they just don't feel like they're in flow, and they feel hard when I don't think friendships need to be very hard. I think friendships should have mutual effort, but I don't think that effort should be very hard. And so for me, when it's been thinking about friendships and attracting new community, there was a point where I just felt like I was very unaligned with most of the people in my life. Maybe not all, but it just felt like I didn't have people except for Tom who I could talk to about wholesome things, and it wouldn't be dramatic and it wouldn't be gossiping. Like just my definition and my needs from a friendship were really shifting, and it felt like they weren't fulfilling or wholesome. And so this was actually very recent. This was, I would say, a year ago, where I just felt like my friendships were pretty lackluster, and I love them, and those people are still in my life. And I've changed how they've shown up too. So I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between attracting new friendships, but also if you're shifting and you are willing to have people shift with you, how to do that. So part one is, let's talk about my existing friendships. So my existing friendships, a lot of them are childhood, college, work when I used to work. And those are kind of the way my friendships happen. And I love them, honestly, absolutely love them. But what I realized is I couldn't always talk to those friends about maybe spirituality, and not because they didn't care. They would always ask, but they might not have been into it. So it's just a different interest, and that's okay. With my current kind of existing older friends, I would talk about more day-to-day stuff like food and family and things like that. And it's just as wholesome and healing. But I wasn't able to talk about everything that I'm super passionate about. I wasn't able to relate to my friends with work because I'm not working anymore. So I was like, okay, I feel like I'm missing somebody relatable in my life who I can talk to about entrepreneurship, spirituality, and just a different lens to look through. So what I did was, first, I wasn't just going to drop my current friends, right? So what I did is I was like, I think I noticed I was judging them at first. I was like, wow, you're not talking about entrepreneurship. And I kind of had this little hierarchy, which is so wrong. That was my ego coming in. So I kind of reflected and I was like, what's not fulfilling me in my current friendships? And I looked at if it was truly something that I needed to address in the friendship, or if it was just me not feeling fulfilled. So I was feeling frustrated by it. It turned out to be the latter. I was just not feeling fulfilled, and I was feeling frustrated by it. They weren't doing anything wrong. They were showing up. I was judging because they weren't showing up in the same way I wanted to show up. And I acknowledged that, and I was like, wait, these people are great people. I love spending time with them. If I know and can acknowledge, I might not be talking about affirmations and spirituality with them, and who just recently healed themselves. That's okay. That's a different type of conversation for different people. So I learned how I could be more present and more compassionate and more loving towards my friends, and seeing the good qualities they have as they are. Because I don't think a friendship means that I'm trying to change people. A friendship means I need to be who I am, and I need to accept them for who they are. So I essentially wasn't accepting my friends, which is so weird to think about. I don't know if they picked up on it. I did tell them afterwards that I was having this personal problem, and they were very open about it. But it was really a self-realization of, I'm honestly just judging them for not being into every single thing I'm into. And that's wrong. My problem was I was just craving different friendships that were more wholesome in the spiritual side. I was missing those spiritual friendships with people I could go to a sound bath with, or somebody I could go to an ecstatic dancing thing with. So that's what I was missing. My current friends, there was nothing wrong with them. They were amazing and good people and have been so supportive. And I didn't feel the need to let go of them. There are certain friendships that I have let go of. That will probably be a different podcast episode. But nurturing these adult friendships that may have been in my life for a long time, I think a big part of it is accepting that we all change. We all take different paths. And what are the fundamentals that keep you together? If those fundamentals are shifting, either I think it's important to talk about it, or maybe that's when you shift it. But if the fundamentals are the same, where you feel like you bond over being good people and this and that, and you can truly be yourself, and you have the courage to be yourself, even if you have changed, I think that's very important. I had to have a conversation with my friends and say, hey, I've changed. I'm not the same person I used to be a few years ago. And I know that might be hard for you, but if you're willing to accept that, like, let's continue. But if you're not, then let's revisit how we want our friendship to be. It was a very open and honest conversation. Now, when it comes to nurturing meaningful friendships as an adult and attracting meaningful friendships, I get this question a lot is, how do I make new friends? Like, what are you supposed to do? I know there's apps for it. I know there's like Bumble Friends and all of these things, but for me, I think it's a lot about being clear on what I'm searching for in a new friendship. And so for me, what I notice is I want a non-judgmental space. I want a space where I can really learn and grow and have a a conversation where we're both helping each other out. And I wanted someone who was very into spirituality and very centered in their own world, but was also going through similar things as I was. That's what I was craving in a friendship. I wanted that companionship and that relatable support. That's what I felt like I was missing. And I finally got clear, and I wrote down one of the affirmations that I have in the app. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was some sort of affirmation. I wrote it down for a few weeks, and I was feeling really like, wow, I need new people in my life that I can really feel full with, that I can really connect with on that level. I wrote down the affirmation. I think it was something like, I am attracting meaningful and spiritual friendships. And I had a few more. They're all in the app. I don't remember off the top of my head. And I kid you not, a week later, so I'll tell you the story essentially. I hope she's okay with this. So I went to a sound healing session. I found this girl on Instagram. I really wanted to do a sound bath. I found her, just messaged her, and I found her a week later, but it took us, due to my scheduling, I think it took us 3 months to actually do a sound bath. And I took my whole family with me. We did this big sound bath, and I loved her energy. And we both kind of were like, wait, we really like each other's energy. And I was just like, I don't know if she said it first or I said it first. I was like, do you want to get coffee sometime? She was like, yeah, I'd love that. Now, I think that phrase is quite normal in our day and age. The thing I think isn't normal is actually following through on that. So I think she was giving me the space because she knew I was already not scheduling. I think I scheduled her and was like, hey, let's just go and do this. Like, I'm not good at making new friends. Like, I don't know how this works, but I was like, let's just go and get coffee and let's see how it is. And so we went, and I kid you not, we talked for 5 hours, and the time flew. We were so supportive. We aligned on so many things. We supported each other on different things we were working through. And it was so beautiful. And I haven't had that with someone who's not my family or a friend I've had for a long time. So it was really cool to basically connect with someone that deeply who I've literally met randomly so unexpectedly. Like, I didn't book that sound healing session to make a new friend. I booked it because I really wanted a sound healing session. But it was almost like the universe led me to that. And it was such a beautiful unfolding as to how it worked. And now I consider her someone I'm so close to because I think she understands me on such a deep level. And so some takeaways from this is it might not necessarily be as active as this person shows up and they're like, hey, you want to be friends? It was a very random. I pushed it away. I kept rescheduling. So it unfolded when it needed to. And it actually came through just this inkling of, wait, I kind of would love to be your friend. And you pick up that energy from that person too. I think it's very different when you're in awe of someone or you're like, whoa, you're very cool. I've totally had that fangirl moment. I think that's a very different experience than, wait, I really think like this could be something beautiful. And like, are you down? It's almost like dating, but friends is what I feel like I'm talking about. It's a very interesting way to think about it. And the thing is I did have to quote unquote make that first move and be like, hey, let's really go get coffee and commit to that, because I am totally the type of person I'll schedule something and then I'll get nervous and I'll back out, or I'll just prioritize something that I'm already sure of before I prioritize this unknown. So it is vulnerable. It does require you to be vulnerable. It does require you to get uncomfortable if you do want to attract new friendships. But I think the biggest thing is setting an intention and being clear about what you're craving from that friendship. I think she finally showed up in my life, and actually a few people like her showed up in my life once I finally acknowledged that my current friends are not bad or not as good. There's no hierarchy. My current friends were my current friends, but I'm also holding space for new people in my life who need to fulfill me and who I crave that fulfillment from. And I was very clear on what was missing, right? I was very clear that I was missing kind of a soulful, spiritual, non-judgmental, no gossiping relationship. I was very easily able to start defining that. And that's kind of what I want to help you do, because that's what really helped me. So I have a spiritual practice for you in Affirm It. And firstly, I have affirmations that you can read through for friendships and for community. The community one is actually a newer collection of affirmations where it's more in alignment with what I was craving. I was craving a spiritual community. I was craving that sense of we're not friends. We don't know each other from anything. Like, I was craving that support. So community is kind of, if you're craving sort of what I was talking about, I actually recommend going to community and still explore the friendship collection. But friendship is, I think, a little bit different than community. So look at both of those affirmations and see what resonates with you. Secondly, I have a full guide on just working with you and others. It's a very detailed guide on just navigating relationships. It also talks about personal relationships and friendships and just showing up in relationships and what that looks like. I think it'll just give you a lot of insight as to how energy flows. And then lastly, I created a guided visualization for building community. This was very inspired by my own experience of building a wholesome, supportive, like kind of a relationship that defies time and defies social norms. That was my epitome of community. And so I created a visualization inspired by that in hopes to help you manifest that and call that in also. So my biggest kind of shortened, condensed version of this is, one, don't judge your existing relationships as much as you might already be doing. It's okay to have great existing relationships, but also want new ones. Those can coexist. And secondly, when it comes to creating new friendships as an adult, a lot of it is unexpected. It's not like a checklist. A lot of it is being intentional about who and what and listening to your gut. Like, if you're picking up on very good energy from someone, call it out. Just be like, hey, I've done this at a coffee shop before and I had an awesome conversation with someone. And I'm not even that, like, I don't like bothering people, like if they're working and stuff. But I was like, I'm just picking up really good energy from you. I have no idea. Like, just being vulnerable, and like, maybe they'll reject you. It's okay. What are they going to say? No, fine. Like, just walk away then. Go back to your current friends. That's okay. But at least you're trying and you're opening yourself up. Like, opening yourself up is vulnerable. And I do think attracting meaningful friendships as an adult is a very vulnerable thing. The last thing I want to mention when it comes to these meaningful friendships is a huge thing that has helped me in all of my friendships is honest communication. I don't do things because, oh, that's the right thing to do, or, oh, I should go to there because she expects me to be there. I'm honest. And if that offends that person, I have to be okay with the risk because I need to respect myself. And I think that's a true, like, golden key for myself and my best friendships is I am very honest and I don't force it. And if that offends them, then maybe I need to reevaluate the way our friendship is and how much that friendship means, because I think my truest friends and my most wholesome friends are very supportive of where I'm at in my life. And I think that's very important. And so I hope this is helpful. I think it's very scary to communicate and be open and honest, but I think it's probably one of the most powerful things you can do. So I hope this is helpful. I appreciate you listening. And my intention for you is to attract those meaningful, wholesome, and just fulfilling relationships and friendships. So please keep me posted if these practices help, and I will see you in the next episode. Whether you're new to my community or you've been here for a while, I think it's really obvious that affirmations are very important to me. The reason they're so important to me is because affirmations have truly helped me manifest my dream job, my dream home, my dream business, my soulmate, and everything in between. And I truly feel like it's my duty to share that forward with you. I've created a totally free masterclass called Affirmations 101, where I teach you how to create your own affirmation practice using the same techniques I use to manifest everything I just talked about. It's absolutely free, so head to the show notes below and just click the link for Affirmations 101 and you can get started right away. I hope you enjoy, and I hope this helps you on your journey. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If this episode resonated with you, it would mean the world to me if you could rate and review the podcast and share it on your social media so I know to keep creating episodes that are inspiring you to manifest. I'm so genuinely grateful for the time we shared today, and I'd love for you to join the community by following @AffirmationAddict on Instagram. To continue diving into spirituality and manifestation, head over to my website, affirmation-addict.com. Until next time, I'm sending you so much love and so much healing energy.